Welcome to Movie Rehash. Today, I'm going to explain a thriller drama film, released in 2009, named Obsessed. Watch out and take care. In the opening scene of the movie, a family of three, Derek, his wife Sharon, and their 2-year-old son Kyle, is seen moving into their new home. As they explore their new house, Derek and Sharon find themselves caught up in a moment of romance and intimacy. Meanwhile, Sharon gets occupied with the movers, and Derek heads to his office. Upon arriving at his office, Derek enters an elevator where he notices a blonde girl. As the other occupants leave, only Derek and the girl remain. They exchange glances, hinting at a potential mutual attraction. The girl, carrying a stack of files, suddenly has an idea that causes the files to scatter on the floor. Derek quickly assists her in picking them up, and in that brief moment, their hands touch, creating a slightly uncomfortable sensation for Derek. However, the girl responds with a friendly smile. Both of them exit the elevator on the same floor, and Derek takes the opportunity to inquire about whom she is there to meet. The young woman, named Lisa Sheridan, addresses Derek by his full name, Derek Charles. In a lighthearted manner, he warns her to be cautious as he jokingly describes Derek as a rather mischievous person. Lisa then proceeds to deliver the files to Derek's assistant. Derek, a successful asset manager in a prominent company, spots Lisa again as he prepares to leave the office at the end of the day. He greets her, and she introduces herself. Later on, Lisa glances at Derek's computer screen and reveals that she has already been exploring his profile. The following day, Derek arrives at the office only to find Lisa occupying Patrick's desk, his usual assistant. Surprised by her presence, Derek inquires about Patrick's whereabouts, to which Lisa explains that Patrick is absent due to stomach flu. Derek begins to share a list of tasks he needs to address, but he discovers that Lisa has already taken care of most of them. While Derek finds Lisa a bit unsettling, she proves to be remarkably helpful and becomes a valuable assistant. Lisa even eavesdrops on Derek's conversations with his wife by listening in on their phone calls. Later, while Derek is at home, enjoying a cozy moment with his wife, Sharon raises a question about an unanswered call she made. When asked about the missed message, Derek explains that he never received it and mentions that his new assistant misunderstood the details and provided him with the wrong name. Sharon, feeling uneasy about Derek having a female assistant, questions him about Patrick. Derek informs her that Patrick is currently unwell, and Lisa is covering for him in the meantime. Sharon becomes upset and insists that Derek should replace the female assistant since they had previously agreed that he would not have one. The following day at the office, Derek discovers Lisa's absence, momentarily providing him some relief. However, his relief fades as he finds Lisa at Marge's desk, who happens to be Joe's assistant. Meanwhile, Lisa and Patrick seem to be growing closer, developing a friendly bond. At work on another day, Derek enters the break room and encounters Lisa in tears. He takes a seat next to her, offering comfort and asking what's troubling her. Lisa reveals that she recently went through a difficult breakup, leading her to question herself. In a self-deprecating manner, she expresses doubts about herself, believing something is inherently wrong. Derek consoles her, assuring her that there's nothing amiss and complimenting her intelligence and beauty. He abruptly cuts himself off before finishing his sentence, and instead, he gently pats her arm, providing reassurance that everything will be alright. Just as Derek is about to leave, Ben enters the room and observes their interaction, mistakenly assuming there may be something going on between them. Then, as Christmas approaches, an office Christmas party is organized. At the office party, which strictly prohibits any romantic involvement between coworkers, Derek finds himself in high spirits. He engages in a brief dance with Marge, enjoying the lighthearted moment, until Lisa appears and interrupts their dance. Derek and Lisa spend some time dancing together until Derek excuses himself and heads towards the men's room. Surprisingly, Lisa follows him and playfully brushes leaves against the back of his head. When Derek turns to face her, she becomes excessively forward, attempting to seduce him despite his repeated pleas for her to stop. Finally managing to escape the room, Derek leaves the party immediately. Later that night, while lying in bed with his wife, Sharon, she inquires if anything interesting happened at the party. Derek denies any unusual occurrences and goes to sleep. The following day at the office, Derek confides in his colleague Ben about the previous night's events and requests that he keep it confidential. Derek explains his intention to report the situation to HR, despite Ben's warning about potential consequences. Upon meeting with the HR manager, Hank, Derek reveals his concerns about Lisa. To his relief, Hank informs him that Lisa has already resigned from her position. That evening, as Derek prepares to leave the office, he sits in his car, about to fasten his seat belt in the parking lot. Unexpectedly, Lisa enters the car wearing only a coat, and starts to disturb him. She assures Derek that now they can be together without jeopardizing their jobs since she no longer works there. Her obsession with Derek is evident as she quit her job solely to pursue a relationship with him outside the workplace. Enraged, Derek demands that she leave his car, but she defies his command. Frustrated, he ultimately pushes her out of the car and drives away, leaving her standing in the parking lot. Determined, Derek decides to disclose everything to Sharon without delay. Upon arriving home, Derek notices his wife's somber demeanor as she sits with a glass of wine in hand. Sensing something is amiss, he inquires about her well-being. Sharon reveals that she has just spent the past hour and a half consoling her heartbroken sister, whose husband is having an affair and planning to leave her. Concerned by this revelation, Derek decides that it would be best not to disclose his own encounters with Lisa. As the new year approaches, Derek and Sharon attend a New Year's Eve party and return home together. Later, Derek receives an email on his computer, which he initially ignores. However, when Sharon goes to the bathroom, curiosity gets the better of him, and he opens the email only to find an inappropriate picture from Lisa. The following day at work, Derek reaches out to Lisa via email, requesting that she simply leave him alone. In response, Lisa sends him a suggestive emoji, further fueling his frustration. A few days later, as Sharon helps Derek pack for a work retreat, she playfully advises him to behave himself while away. During the retreat, a waitress delivers a drink to Derek, mentioning that it's from a woman at the bar. When Derek turns to look, he spots Lisa approaching him. Uncomfortable with her actions, Derek firmly insists that she leave and asserts that nothing will ever happen between them. However, while Derek is momentarily distracted by a phone call, Lisa takes the opportunity to tamper with his drink. Later that night, a drunken Derek stumbles down the hallway with Ben. His vision blurred and judgment impaired, Derek enters his room, and Ben reminds him of their morning meeting scheduled for 9 o'clock. Entering the room, Derek collapses onto the bed, completely drained. As he rolls over, he is startled to find Lisa lingering above him. Without resistance, his intoxicated and drugged state leaves him helpless as she takes advantage of him, engaging in unwelcome physical contact. Overwhelmed, Derek eventually passes out. The next morning, Derek wakes up with a lingering hangover, glancing at the time to realize he is already running late. Hastily getting up, he rushes to make it to a meeting that is already in progress, arriving around 10:15. The meeting carries on, lasting for a couple more hours. Suddenly, Derek is informed that his wife is waiting for him in the lobby. Excusing himself, Derek steps out only to find Lisa standing there. Anger surges within him as Lisa begins to ramble, claiming that he desires her and recounting his previous comment about being together if he were single. Derek firmly asserts that there is no future between them and implores her to leave him alone. Resolute, he returns to the meeting. Later that night, when Derek enters his room, he discovers Lisa in his bed. Alarmed, he spots an empty pill bottle nearby and realizes that she is unconscious. In a panic, he immediately calls 911. The scene transitions, and we find them at the hospital, with Lisa being rushed to the emergency room. Derek assures Ben that he will provide an explanation later that night. Meanwhile, Sharon grows increasingly worried as she has been unable to reach Derek. Ben advises her to call the hospital, prompting Sharon to rush there in concern. She is relieved to find Derek unharmed. However, when the doctor approaches Derek, questioning why Lisa overdosed in his bed, Sharon's composure falters. To her astonishment, she discovers that Lisa had listed Derek as her emergency contact. They return home, and Sharon accuses Derek of having an affair with Lisa, but Derek vehemently denies it. He opens up to Sharon about all the things Lisa has been doing and how she has become obsessed with him. Sharon becomes even angrier, questioning why she wasn't informed earlier when it all started happening. She reminds Derek of their vow to always be honest with each other. Derek tries to apologize, but Sharon insists on kicking him out of the house. Meanwhile, a detective enters Lisa's hospital room and interrogates her about her relationship with Derek. Lisa claims that Derek is going to leave Sharon and be with her. She asks if Derek is there to see her, but the detective informs her that Derek wants nothing to do with her. Curious about the flowers she received, Lisa inquires about them, and the detective reveals that she believes Lisa used Derek's credit card information to send herself the flowers, creating an illusion of Derek's affection. The detective mentions a journal that Lisa wrote, detailing romantic encounters between her and Derek. Derek vehemently denies the authenticity of the journal, stating that it's all lies and that nothing romantic ever happened between them. He expresses concern about Lisa's escalating obsession and worries about what she might do next. The detective reassures him that he has no reason to worry because Lisa has moved to San Francisco. The scene shifts to Derek in his apartment, happily playing with his son, while Sharon remains alone in another room. They have been living apart for a few months now. The family is shattered due to the obsessive behavior of a deranged girl. On Derek's birthday, he asks Sharon to celebrate with him. They decide to reconcile, and Sharon gives him a house key as a gift. However, Lisa, the obsessed girl, enters their house and kidnaps Kyle. Upon their return, they discover Kyle missing and find him in Derek's car with a lipstick mark on his forehead. Kyle is unharmed, but they install a security system for protection. Later, Lisa contacts Patrick and falsely claims that Derek is divorcing Sharon. Sharon leaves for the weekend but forgets to activate the security system. Then, Sharon heads back to the home and finds Lisa is in their bed. Lisa apologizes for their family's separation but assures her that she and Derek will be reunited because they are in love. She is instructed to leave their home by Sharon. Sharon catches Lisa as she approaches and throws her in the direction of the door. The phone starts to ring right now. Sharon takes the phone first as both women rush to get it. Derek is checking on her health. She informs him that she discovered Lisa in their home before saying, "I'm going to have to call you back," before hanging up. As soon as Sharon turns to face Lisa, a bloody catfight breaks out. The two ladies descend a stairway by kicking, slapping, punching, headbutting, and finally falling. Lisa stands up and rushes back upstairs as Sharon stares in disbelief. The two women end themselves in the attic as Sharon closes down on them. With a 2x4 piece of wood in hand, Lisa begins to practice hitting with Sharon's legs. Sharon backs up along a strip of wood while balancing on some fierce 4-inch heels, challenging Lisa to go grab her. Lisa swings and stumbles, landing on a shaky section of the floor and falling through. We see Lisa dangling from the ceiling, clinging on for dear life, and the ground below. Sharon abruptly grabs Lisa's hand and tries to pull her up after having a change of heart about letting Lisa fall to her death. In response, the deranged Lisa tries to drag Sharon along with her. Lisa's fingers are finally torn apart by Sharon when she musters up the courage to do so, and Lisa falls and slams against the table below. Lisa slowly opens her eyes and makes an effort to move while lying among the broken glass and twisted metal. While she is lying injured there, chandelier falls above her and it kills Lisa. In the aftermath, Sharon encounters the detective and confesses to what transpired. Seeking solace, she seeks comfort in Derek's arms, knowing that the disturbing chapter of the obsessive girl's life has come to a tragic end.